Hi, everyone, and welcome. I'm Paul Harold, Head of Partnerships and Strategic Alliances at Lumenalta, and I'll be your host for today's session, From Migration to Action, How Leading Enterprises Are Activating Their Data. Quick context on why this conversation matters. Enterprises are managing 400 plus data sources on average, and most teams are burning engineering cycles, maintaining pipelines, instead of building towards AI and analytics outcomes. That's the gap Lumenalta and Fivetran close together. Fivetran moves the data, Lumenalta activates it. Here's how the next 30 minutes will go. First, David Millman, leads partner sales engineer at Fivetran, will walk us through the Fivetran platform and why leading organizations rely on it for data movement. Then Renato Oliveira, AI engineer at Lumenalta, will take us into a live demo and show how partnerships come together across the full stack. We'll close with a solid 10 minutes of Q&A, so drop your questions in the chat at any time. Now, before we dive in, we've got a quick poll for you. Let's find out where your team is feeling the pressure. So our poll question is, what's the biggest data challenge your team is facing right now? Is it integrating data from multiple sources? Is it managing constant schema or API changes? Is it scaling pipelines for real-time analytics and AI? Or is it reducing costs while improving efficiency? Please take a moment to share your feedback. And while you're doing that, I'm going to turn it over to David.
Thank you, Paul. Okay, so what does Fivetran and Lumenalta, what do we do to help solve your problems? As Paul mentioned, Fivetran is a data movement tool. We take over 700 data sources and allow those to be quickly and efficiently moved into the target destinations that you're looking for and you're using today, whether that be a platform like Databricks or Snowflake, or whether that's more of a open format such as Iceberg using our managed data lake option. What we do is we make that really easy for customers like Tenuity to actually go in there and actually make get that data in so you can do analytics, AI, and everything else. So we provide the data movement, and we do that so Lumenalta can actually take that data and actually turn that into real insights for you and your business team. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover like 3 points of this Fivetran and 3 numbers just to remember so that you have them in your head and how to remember Fivetran. 3 numbers of this: 15 for 15 minutes. In about 15 minutes, you should be able to onboard pretty much any new data source using Fivetran to your target destination. We want that to be the new way. In ETL world, you've done 6 to 8 weeks. We've now got that into 15 minutes, where most companies are building a new pipeline in deployment end to end in about 4 days. I look at the next number for you, right? Let's move 100% of that data into the destination. You are building agents, you are building analytics on that data. They need all of that data to go in and understand the context of your business to build newer insights. So move 100% of that data, whether that's structured, unstructured, move it in that platform so it's ready to go, and you can now apply the latest capabilities to that data source. And finally, we want you to be concentrating on your outcomes, not on maintenance and other things, right? Nothing good happens at 3 in the morning, and pipelines typically break at 3 in the morning. Well, guess what? Fivetran is out there taking care of your pipelines for you, managing it so you have 0 distractions, again, so you can concentrate on value and creation. Now, we are moving out to an agentic world where everything is moving into a real-time view of the world. So let's go and see the final piece of the slide and say for all of these things, its CDC is built into every one of those data sources. So whether it's an agent or a human actually looking at those that data and trying to build a decision on that, the data is becoming into at real time or near real time. So now I'm going to hand it over to Renato for a demo on how all of this works together.
So what we're going to do for this quick demo is to move data from a Cloud SQL for Postgres instance data to a Databricks instance. Here we have Databricks. Let me just go back to Fivetran. so I can show you some specific and important things regarding destinations, connections, so we can start the demo. First of all, here at connections, we have over 775 connectors. I'm not gonna pass for every one of these, but if you have a use case, specific use case that you want to move data from, we definitely should be able to help you. And destinations, we had over 34 destinations here. And what we're going to do is first to set the destination. We can do it either manually here at destination, or we can do it from our Databricks instance. This would be easier for our demo purposes. So we're just going to go here at data ingestion, and we're going to select any one of these connectors should enable the connection itself. So we can go over to Cloud Google Function, for example. Let me just wait. The data warehouse starting. I guess I should. Yes, I'm already able to do next. And you just connect it to your account. Confirm Databricks connection. And that's it. You don't need to go further with the connection. You just clicked it. You just need to go here at destination. You see that it's connected. So now we are able to make the data movement that we were planning first. So we're going to go here at add connection. We're going to choose Cloud SQL for Postgres, setup. And we have here our destination that we just set. We're going to select these. And here we have to insert the data that we're pulling data from. So we have this sample database here that Fivetran allowed us to use just for demonstration. This is the host port. You just have to insert your username, your password, which database you're pulling data from. In our case, it's retail. We maintain everything else as the same. We choose here query based. In this case, Fivetran uses queries to detect new or change data, and save and test. We confirm the certificate. In the meantime, Fivetran does some testing to ensure proper connection settings are okay. So we just hit next and wait for it. Here we have all of the data from our source that we might want to do some transformation beforehand. So just for a quick demonstration, we can, and this is something that customers always wanted to see in real time, like how can I hash sensitive data from my source? So here at Fivetran, you can do this in an easy way. For example, we can go over customers, number, you just click it here, hash. So this will hash before every other transformation. I guess there might be other sensitive data here regarding customers, so we can hash other fields as well, such as email and many others. I do have the option also to do other more detailed filtering, but for this demonstration, I would just save and continue. So here I'm allowing all new changes, tables, and columns to be updated. I'm just going to hit continue and start initial thing. So the sync, it's happening. This should take approximately 3 to 4 minutes. So in order for us not to wait for this long, I already have the data moved to Databricks. So I'm going to continue from here. We just have to go over catalog, demo, and retail data. Retail data, it's already here. We can go back to Fivetran to see how it went later. Here we have all of the tables. We can see sample data also. And from the hash data that I have set earlier, we see now that everything is hash. You basically anonymized all of the information here. The same happens to customers. The same thing here. Email is hash. You don't have problems with sensitive data this way. So if we count the minutes doing this transition, this migration of data, it took about 3 to 4 minutes, maybe less. So you see that it's really easy to move data from whatever source you're thinking of to the destinations. So we can focus on what really matters, data analysis. So we can analyze the data that we have, and we can further get insights into our organization. So here, what I'm gonna do right now, since the data it's already here, I'm gonna ask Genie to gather insights and to have some dashboards and some charts for us to analyze what kind of data this is. I do already have here some prompt that I have. For example, I would say I want dashboards for each of the tables I just imported from Postgres. The catalog schema is demo Renato and retail. I have 6 tables, and each one should have its own page in the dashboard. And what I'm gonna do here, just some clarification. Since dashboards support multiple pages, I want all 6 tables in one dashboard with a dedicated page for each table. And I'm going to continue. So what Genie can do basically is that he can talk to and act in any part of your instance. Here I'm going to show the tables. It already knows about the tables that we have here. And one interesting thing about this is that the Genie can decentralize his tasks to dashboard tasks. So we're gonna get there in a minute. It just created one dashboard, and it's gonna start creating one page per table as I asked him to do. We can see that it's already created one page per table. Pages are created. We can also see Genie thoughts right here. It's creating one data set, just one visualization per table, just for a matter of creating the dashboards, the pages. It's basically doing a select start from each one of the tables so it can start building the visualizations. It already started. Whoa, this is new for me. It created a geographic distribution. This is really cool. Me, as an AI engineer, we oftentimes got ourselves into this hassle of data engineering. So having a tool such as Fivetran to do all of this migration for us, it's really useful, save us a lot of time. And having Databricks as well to build us these visualizations is also phenomenal. I didn't think it would build a chart like this in the first run, to be honest. Let's go to loyalty segments, retail customers, retail orders. So here we have widgets for each one of the tables as mentioned and as asked to Genie. And it's creating the final page also in real time, as we can see. These serve as a first step into knowing what we have in our data. Of course, we can go to Genie and ask, okay, what does this data tell about my organization and stuff? Or we can just, create visualizations. I'm a visual guy, so I would like to see something like that in my first run. So this is really useful for us to gather insights easier and in a faster way. And this is what I wanted to show you guys today. As we can see, we moved data. The movement of the data itself, it took 3 minutes or 2 minutes. And we focused on gathering insights using Databricks. It took, most of the time, 7 minutes, I guess. If we go back here, we can see the successful historical sync. It took 1 minute and 19 seconds. So it was really, really fast also. And that's it. Thanks.
Awesome. What a great demo. think we're gonna have to redo our numbers from 15 minutes just to load data, from 15 minutes to get into outcomes. I think that is awesome. So hopefully you really enjoyed that demo and see how speed to outcomes is really a big thing and can change your business, and how Fivetran and Lumenalta are here together to go and make that successful and a reality for you. So wrapping up with some of the ways to think, when to think of us, and kind of some of the problems that people have and when to apply this problem. So we are ultimately going to an AI world, right? You saw Genie being used there to actually create dashboards on the fly, but your business is also expecting AI and agentic workloads to come to the business. They want to get an advantage in their market. So this is a big thing that is ultimately changing the market. So the two of us together can go and help that become reality. Other things that ultimately happen, critical business events, right? Mergers, acquisitions, divestitures, volatile markets, those things happen, and there's an inherent need to do things fast. So ultimately, when you have that high risk, but short time frame where you have to get things done, is a good point to go and think of the pair of us together. Now, Renato actually discussed or actually demoed Postgres as a connector, right? But we understand that beyond the sort of a single database, there's multiple databases, everything from DB2, there's a inherent data estate that's been out there for many years. So we have the capabilities to go and pull that data from anything, whether it be a traditional database, whether it be something that's sitting under an application, more like an SAP instance, or even if you're in the medical space around electronic health records. We can go and pull that data across and make it available out there, which is really the cornerstone of ultimately achieving that AI and agentic workloads. And as we talked about before, it's like you're moving to a platform like Databricks, but you've probably also got other platforms out there. We can put it directly into Databricks, ready to move, or move it more into an open format such as Iceberg, where you're ready to go and move that data and just pull it, use it in the same way in Unity Catalog and Databricks. SAP is a big thing, another cornerstone of the enterprise. We can pull that data and unleash it into your analytics. And ultimately, don't go down the legacy tool movement, the ETL movement where you've done in the past. It's taken 6, 8, 12 weeks to build a pipeline. Your CEO ultimately has 90 days to shape their business at a time, like once a quarter. Come to us, we can actually make that happen, build new products, 10, 20 this quarter, not just 1 or 2 maybe. So kind of that summarizes when to think of us together. I hope you enjoyed the presentation and the demo, and I'll hand it now back to Paul to wrap up.
Great. And David and Renato, great job here. Fantastic demo. Love to see, David, when you call out, it only takes 15 minutes, and Renato, in a matter of 7 to 8 minutes, was able to show us analytics and dashboards. That's fantastic. There is a question from the audience around are all of the connectors set up within 15 minutes? And what about enterprise applications like SAP? Does that take longer?
Yes, ultimately a demo is a demo, right? And I break down setting up a connector into 2 things. There's a technical piece, and then there's the organizational piece. For a lot of the connectors that are SaaS applications or those easy to pull out, they're fairly easy and you can configure them in 15 minutes. If you take the other end, which is like the SAP, right? That is typically a highly prized jewel within the enterprise. The organizational friction to go and get that data out is typically high because you have to go to security people and everything else. From a configuration perspective, actually, it's a couple of hours to go and get it configured typically, but we do have deployments that make it easier to overcome, like CISO security, network connections with a hybrid deployment. So yes, they will take longer. Typically, it's going to be organizational friction more than the actual configuration. All of our pipelines are designed to technically be very easy to set up and configure. Great question.
Great answer as well. Thank you very much. We do have another question from the audience. How do I orchestrate this across different platforms?
So another good question. So we are seeing, right, that there's a lot of customers are having multiple platforms. They've got Databricks and a hyperscaler underneath that, and they want to move that data across both of those platforms. Traditionally, what we've done as data engineers is we move that data twice. We've moved it once to Databricks and maybe once out to the hyperscaler. Now with Iceberg, I can just move that data once to Iceberg. We update the Unity catalog. It's accessible within AWS or Azure or wherever your data is running on. And so we load it once, and whether you have one platform, two platforms, or actually half a dozen destinations, the data is loaded once and reused many times. That's where the modern architecture is going.
Excellent. Thank you for that update. We do have one more. Does this also work for activation census, the reverse ETL Fivetran bot last year?
Absolutely. So the great news is that demo that you essentially saw Renato go through to move data into Databricks, we have exactly the same demo, the capabilities to go and take that data out and move it into a Salesforce or wherever it needs to go. So that capability, that kind of 15 minutes to go and get something done, that kind of easy click and configure to go and make the data movement happen is all available. So yes, if you've got a Fivetran account, you will see an activations tab on the left-hand side. You can just click on that and start building the reverse data movement setup as well.
Excellent. And looking through the chat, that appears to be all of the questions. So with that, I'd like to just give a huge thanks to Renato and David for a great session here, and to everyone who joined and dropped questions into the chat. Quick recap: Fivetran moves the data, Lumenalta activates it. Together, that's your path from migration to action. We are offering a complimentary data infrastructure assessment. The link will be coming in a follow-up email along with the recording of this webinar. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.